looks like when we're Dr. Klein's blowing in, and we're trying to see if there's a leak or not. This is a good water test, but see how it kind of goes up, and then we're adjusting it, see what's going on. And then it's moving really fast, and there's a leak, so it's going down. Or
Yeah.
not. I'm thinking real clap to that. I'm not really sure what
We were actually writing on the membrane, writing our names and stuff. That's what we were doing. Oh, and that's the pressure test.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I got some of those where the time lapse where it takes a picture every few seconds, and then it puts them all together.
Pigs. All those pigs.
Lots of pigs.
They all look so bored. We wanted you to.
I know they wanted to eat me.
I have one video. I don't know. Oh, so this is
Manure.
This is the manure that's in the digester that's coming up, and I don't. This is gonna be. So do you see these?
There's bubbles there.
Bubbles? So you see the bubbles? That's because it's taken really quickly. It shows. That's the bubbles. That's the methane being formed. It's not closed yet, so that'll collect once there's a lot more waste and things like that. So that's the pin.
Okay, that's Oksana and Jared getting all the manure out. They had all the manure in this I don't know, this container-like structure that was like there, and it was great because we only had to go to one location, get the manure, put it in there, and then just take it to the actual place where we were building the digester.
Ironically, they had a biodigester, they just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Anytime you put manure in a closed place, you produce methane. They weren't capturing it. It wasn't set up to produce the fertilizer. So all over the world, people are making biodigesters wrong, not knowing they're biodigesters, and then they're wasting all of the energy and the fertilizer that they could get. Even where they compost the manure, they're losing the nitrogen to the air because composting is an inefficient process. When you put it underwater in a closed container, you get liquid fertilizer, which is really good for plants to use, keeps all the nitrogen, and you get the energy for free. And people just don't know. So you toss your garbage in a garbage bag or a garbage bin. It's turning into methane and fertilizer, but in a very inefficient process. So you're just wasting. Every time you flush the toilet, every time you take out the garbage, you're just wasting all your energy. It's as simple as that. Everybody in the world can do this. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you could just remind me of the word that's the name of the actual. Remember where all the manure is stored in every house in the Dominican
Septic
Republic?
tank.
The septic.
Yeah.
Every house in the Dominican Republic, all the way in the backyard, you're going to see this rectangular-like structure, and you can just be like, what is that? That's a septic tank. And what does it contain? Human manure. And it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's the same exact thing. There's biogas, methane being created there, but it's not being gathered. It's not being stored, so no one's using it. So just to show you that there's already systems in place that produce this, because it's a natural system, only that we're not using it to its potential. We're not using it to cook. We're not using it to heat our homes when we should. So that's TH being a model again.
So this, what I drew over there, just on the left side, that there's the two tanks. There's the IBC, which you've seen in all sorts of forms already. Then there's those are water tanks that they use to store water in the Dominican Republic. So this system takes one water tank on the bottom, and then it is another one flipped over and put inside. And then as the gas collects, this top portion moves up and down.
It should show up in the pictures.
Yeah, you'll see
So
it.
this is when we went to get the materials. This was all on top of a roof that they had all these water tanks. So T was just trying to figure out which one was the best size because we needed one tank to be smaller than the other because they go one on top of each other. And then I think Shivani illustrated that over there when she drew it. Do you see the tanks? One on top of each other. And then we'll give you a better picture up here. So Shivani had a great idea since, again, we didn't have every material readily available to us. So
No electricity, no drills.
no electricity, no drills. We had to be creative. Shivani had the idea
Which
of
I got from a local at a hardware store. But I was listening. But we didn't have tools, so we were trying to find because we had to drill holes that are very exact. So we built this fire, and you can see over here there's a pipe, and that was one thing. We needed one that was 3.
We need 2 inches and 3 inches. That's the 2 inch.
Yes, we needed one that was 3 inches in diameter, and we really didn't know where to get that. And one evening we came back from the first night of this build, and we stopped by Dr. Culhane's apartment, and I was looking at the sink, and it was just those sink drains like that you put in so it catches the any waste that's going down there. I was like, wait, how big is that? And so we went and we measured, and it was like 3 inches. So then we kind of took that from the apartment and we used it
she might not still ask for that.
and we
You
used that
stole
to
it.
burn the holes in it. So you can see how she's once it gets really hot, you can sear through it. So and then we did that the same. You warmed up the spatula, melted the rubber. So it was a really helpful process. You can see down here he's doing it. This is the IBC tank.
Which was already there. IBC tanks was a really big issue at the beginning because TH was like, is there IBC tanks in the Dominican Republic? And I was like, I don't know. And I called many companies. I made it like a family thing where I did this huge group chat and I was like, family, please help me find IBC tanks in the Dominican Republic. They couldn't find any. And when we went to the Dominican Republic, we saw a bunch of IBC tanks lined up, and TH was just like, oh, so Martha, there's no IBC tanks in the Dominican Republic? I see one there. And so,
But they're all waste tanks because they were shipping goods from one country to another, and then people grab them when they get thrown away and then use them to collect water, to store stuff in. So there's no market. It's like you can go to a store and buy them, but you find them where people throw them away or where they take them and sell them. But it's the undermarket. It's the black market, if you like. So that is why she couldn't find in the formal market. There's no way to buy them. Or if you do, you'd spend an enormous amount of money.
yes.
But here, and so we get there to the site and we find one in the garbage.
We found this one. It was just on the site, and it was just doing nothing. It was just there. They just had it there. I don't know what it was doing. It was just there, and we were like, let's use it. And we did. So we created this system where not only did we use the RD system, which was 2 tanks on top of each other, but we incorporated also the IBC tank. So basically, the RD system stores the gas.
RD is an Indian digester, the one made of 2 water tanks we learned in India.
Tanks on top of each other. And so the IBC tank does the same thing that the RD, the IBC tank does the same thing that the RD system does, only that the RD system can actually store the gas versus the IBC tank that couldn't. So I'm not sure if you invented that as we went along or you've done it before.
I invented that in Egypt, yeah.
In Egypt, look at that. And so we got the IBC tank, we filled it up with manure, and then what was there was like, it created the gas, but it couldn't store it, so we just transferred it to the RD system.
Show them the picture.
Yeah.
They'll get it from the picture.
The RD system, the actual system, I don't know.
Oh, at the end? Mm-hmm. Well, hold on. I have to go to class. So this, I think, is how... So this is the top part. You can see them lifting it up and putting it into...
It was really hot.
was trying not to be in the way. Okay, so that gives you an idea. And the kind of fun thing about that was TH at the time was off with his son, trying to get cacao, and so it was just the six of us really trying to finish it off. So when he got back, we were like, "Yeah, we're done. We did it."
I think I want to share that story as well. So TH and I and Rodrigo had gone to get materials, and we left the others without any food in this farm-like place, very rural. They were starving. We get back, and they have shirts on top of their heads, and they are shirtless, and they have scrapes and bruises all over each other, all over their bodies, and we're like, what happened? Well, we were hungry, and so we went out to the wilderness.
Oh.
And so
You would have thought they were there for like a week.
Yes.
Like they were already
That's how they
survival
looked. Look, this is what I'm talking about. But he was shirtless when I saw him.
and he had a machete in his hand.
Yes. And so
They were
they
like,
had machetes in their hands. So we get there and they're like, we were hungry, so we went out there and we got food. I'm like, okay, what did you find? So specifically, Shamir is from Jamaica, a Caribbean country, like the Dominican Republic, and they have cacaos, which is basically
Chocolate.
chocolate. That's what they make chocolate out of. Is the fruit. So they were out in the wilderness and they said, "Hey, this fruit." He said, "Hey, this fruit looks familiar," and so he decided to open it. He's like, "Oh, we have this in Jamaica. Let's suck the seeds," and that's how they survived while we were gone for like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And we get back and they're just like full of filth, and they're just sucking on a seed. And I didn't even know because I'd never seen a cacao fruit before either. So it was a very interesting experience, and I kind of hope that I stood back with them instead of going to get materials that day.
So I'm sorry. And those are some extra photos there that tie into the last part.
That's when we were pushing the top part.
That was at the end, I think.
Yeah.
But if you look, there's some that are good expressions. But
Thank you,
Yeah, we're going to cook for you in just a second, so we'll see the final pictures.
So I just want to interrupt for one moment. I'm Dr. Lacey Basile, the director of the honors program, and usually I'm always here for events. I'm teaching next door at the same time, but this is the only time that these three very busy people could get together. So I first of all wanted to introduce myself and apologize for my coming in and out. I can't clone myself, so this is the only way I've figured out to do this. But I also want to encourage everybody to ask questions, right? I mean, this is a fascinating presentation, but maybe you have questions, things that you're not really getting, or you want to comment on something. And of course, don't hesitate to serve yourselves. I hope there's still some left, but we'll have some other food shortly. So this is really fascinating. I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I gotta go attend to my students. Sorry for the interruption. Thank you.
So here you can actually see the system from a different angle. This is the RD system, the 2 water tanks on top of each other. We actually had to cut the water tank, both water tanks, the top of them. And so right here is, well, this is where we would put the food waste in here, and it would automatically go down and, bubble and make methane, and then that pressure will push this up, and that's how you know when there's gas. And then if you want to add anything, TH?
No, just that the other system is connected to it. That what we have at
Yes.
Mercy is 2 of these back systems. If you point to the back one, to the IBC, put your finger over that, in the back, the IBC.
Yes, right here.
We have 2 of these at Mercy, and we collect the gas in inner tubes like you see on the floor, which we're going to cook with in a second. In the Dominican Republic, we're collecting in an Indian system made of 2 water tanks, and that is the traditional way that they do it in India. And so we've made a hybrid between our system and the Indian system, so they have a way of storing the gas.
So this is the gas. Like I said before, it's the same thing. Is you put the food waste on that side or right over here. Well, actually this side right over here. That's where TH reinvented it and put like a water bottle. He cut it, and so we put it as like a head, and then
As a
that's
funnel.
how. Yeah, and that's how we, like a funnel, yes.
Yeah.
And that's how we put the food waste. and then it would make the same system. It would make the methane, only that it cannot be
You're
stored.
pointing
here.
to her bowels. And
Oh.
it's not us making gas. It's good, but she is.
As if she's not there, and she doesn't look as
Looks like she's
annoyed with the sun. I think because it was burning.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was so hot. And so right here, and then so the gas will come out through here because again, it cannot be stored in this model, and then it's stored in this one. And this is the same thing. Put the food waste in here, bubbles up, brings methane, and comes out through here. In this picture, you can't see where the
Fertilizer.
the fertilizer comes out, but I believe in the next picture you could see it. This is where the fertilizer comes out. And this we had to paint black, which I did myself. You guys didn't see pictures of me doing labor, but I did do a lot of work. So it was white, and I had to paint it black. So then, black radiates more heat, and so we wanted it to be warmer in there. And then the sun, and then also for algae to grow, because we didn't want algae to grow. So that's why we painted black, so it could block the sun. And like I said before, this is where the fertilizer comes out, and the fertilizer he could use now. This is Antonio. He was a very humble, sweet man. He could use for his crops now.
That's his kitchen right there.
Yeah, back here.
That's his kitchen. That's where he eats every day.
Yeah.
So we gave him cooking fuel forever.
Yeah. He was actually boiling yuca for us. We didn't get to eat. I don't know what happened. I think someone ate it, but I didn't get to eat it. I don't see. And then that's us. A picture of us there. And that's all of us. And this is the model. It's not the best picture, but it's something. And that's us, our hands covered in manure. That's our secret handshake. Not so secret anymore, but that's it. So I think that's it. Now let's just have some
Fire it
eggs.
The library purchased 2 editions that are on reserve of the Biogas Handbook, being a compendium of the art and science of using anything once alive to produce a burnable gas for powering light, automobiles, ovens, tractors, water heaters, furnaces, and various contraptions. David House, the author, has been here to Mercy. He's working with us. And so if you want technical information, he homeschooled his children and used this as their primary textbook. It's got math, it's got physics, it's got science, it's got biology, it's got engineering. And he believes that if you learn to make biogas systems, you can learn anything. So there's a movement going on. We have a Facebook page called Solar Cities Biogas, which is open to the world. There's 4,500 members from around the world who are doing this. We have the Envisage Mercy Facebook page, which is also open to the world, but we run it. And we are going around teaching this. Our next stop will probably, where's Envisage going next to build this?
Let's see. I'm not sure.
Wherever you want to go.
Yes.
Would you go to your home? We're building up at the Rockefeller farm this spring. Abby Rockefeller's farm. We built a system in her basement of her house also. So we got 2 basement biodigesters indoors. We're building in the greenhouse. We're building outdoors. We're also building at the Native American reservations this summer. So you're welcome to join in on that because the Native Americans live on reservations. They're very poor. They're First Nations people. We're building at the University of Pittsburgh. We're building 2 or 3 weeks. We're building at the Permaculture Design Institute in Ellenville, New York. There's Shamir. This.
That's when we start picking up almost all the manure.
This is biogas. I've gone on buses and trains and violated the law like I'm a terrorist with a bomb. But it really is safe. I don't mind wearing biogas. And you can put your hand through it and become a first flamer. Notice there is no smoke. It's hot, it's fire, but notice there's no smoke and there's no smell. And the reason is because all that it turns into is carbon dioxide and water. So biogas is a completely safe fuel, and yet it's the same fuel that they're fracking for right now. It's the same stuff that comes out of oil refineries, but it's natural. This is the only true natural gas. Let me turn it down so I don't want to use it all up before we cook something. But you should become a first. You've been a first flamer before, actually. And there's Sunny. So just coming around and carrying gas to you, so that you can. I hope you're getting this on camera. Because I'm spreading the light, right?
You take a picture.
Ow. It is hot. It's gas. I mean,
It will burn.
it will burn. If it didn't burn, then it wouldn't be useful for cooking. But to know that you can make your own methane, yeah, right? I mean, it's real methane. This is natural gas. Yet, who would be crazy enough to walk around with a bomb? Well, it can't explode because there's no oxygen in it. So you've all touched it, right?
See, it's look over here.
So now you're what we call first flamers. You've been ritualized or baptized into the beauty of natural gas. And then, is it useful? Yes, you can generate electricity with it. You can do everything that you could do with fossil fuel natural gas, but this is not a climate change agent. You produce this, it does not change the climate at all. There's no greenhouse gas potential because it's the same amount of carbon that the plants took out of the atmosphere when they grew. We're just putting it back when you burn it. So when I open this up with my little inner tube, and we've taken it, I took it down to Washington, D.C. on the bus and on the train, and then you do these demonstrations. I have to have a pump because it's not under any pressure over there. But here we go. So you can see the flame, right? The same flame that we had before. And then I can take this.
Can you let it heat up?
Right. So we'll let this thing cook a bit. Turn the gas up a little higher. Oh, it's not made for these tiny little things.
You just quit.
I have to give you a bigger one.
If we run this in a generator, make the flame bigger by opening up the valve a little bit. You can see it's a pretty big flame.
Yeah.
If you run it through a generator, you can generate electricity. If you run it through a lamp, you can have a gas lamp. If you run it through a heater, you can heat your water. If you run it through a refrigerator, a gas refrigerator, you can cool things, a gas air conditioner. Humanity, Albert Einstein invented what they call the Einstein refrigerator, which was a gas refrigerator that ran on gas. Why we don't use it today? I don't know, because you can make it yourself. So now we're cooking this egg here. And while this egg is cooking, I want to show you a music video we made about biogas. So you'll leave singing about gas. In our classes, we try to use every technique known to humanity to make education meaningful. Making biogas is a gas.
Dr. Carvey of the Appropriate Rural Technology Institute, ARTI, has developed a revolutionary approach to generating methane. The new method is more efficient than the traditional one, and it doesn't need burning.
Our system is 400